Gennady Golovkin stops Willie Monroe Jr. in the 6th round. This was actually a pretty good fight while it lasted. Willie Monroe showed a lot of heart, and he showed a bit of tactical know-how in there. In the first 2 rounds, Monroe was doing what most people expected. He was moving, not excessively, but he was moving a lot, sticking and moving and making sure that, well, he was trying to keep Golovkin off balance, trying to switch up the angles and not make it easy for him to trap him in a corner or trap him against the ropes and get those big power shots off. But it wasn't working because in the second round, I mean, even in the first round, Golovkin was getting in positions and he was just an inch away with some of his heavy shots. In the second round, he got even closer and he started landing those heavy shots and Willie Monroe started going down. I believe it was the second round. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it was the second, not the third round. But anyway, he started going down. He was seriously hurt. Fight didn't look like it was going to last long. But when Monroe got up and came out for the next round, he made an interesting adjustment. Instead of moving around, he decided to, maybe it wasn't even a decision. Maybe it was just the fact that his legs were shot, so he had to do this. But he started coming forward and trying to smother Golovkin's punches a bit. And that started working because when you move around on a guy like Golovkin, a guy who's very good at cutting off the ring and a guy who applies relentless pressure and he has a good chin and whatnot, if you give them space, they're going to get all the leverage they need to be able to set up their big punches and land their big shots with the power they want to land it with. And by smothering Golovkin, by coming forward on him, he wasn't giving Golovkin enough space to get the leverage on his shots. And Monroe was doing better when he was in the pocket than he was when he was moving around. That's something which, if Golovkin's to fight Andre Ward in the future, that Andre Ward's definitely going to try and capitalize on as well. He's going to push Golovkin back being a smaller man. And Andre Ward is tremendously strong. I know we don't see people pushing Golovkin back. He's fighting smaller guys. But Andre Ward is very, very strong. He might be the physically strongest guy at 168. Remember, even Carl Froch was getting pushed around in the clinches by Andre Ward. He's a very, very strong man. And I think that's what Ward will do if he fights Golovkin. He'll try and push Golovkin onto the back foot. He'll pick his spots. He's not just going to go straight in like a bull in a china shop. He's going to pick his spots and try and maneuver Golovkin backwards and rough him up on the inside and then land his little shots where he can. But whatever the case may be, Monroe had little spots of success here and there. He was hitting Golovkin, particularly as the fight wore on. I thought Golovkin was maybe a little bit tired after the second round when he really tried to get Golovkin out of there. And maybe he was a bit winded and Monroe was able to come back in the fight somewhat and start landing some shots. And Golovkin's defense did look sloppy in this fight. I'm not going to lie. Maybe it was the fact that it was a southpaw. He wasn't used to defending against the southpaw angles that the punches were coming from because he hasn't fought a southpaw in a while. Or maybe it was something else. Maybe it was the fatigue. Maybe it was a combination of the two. Golovkin always gets hit. Even when he knocked out Daniel Gill, he got hit with a shot at the same time he landed a knockout punch. So he does get hit. But in this fight, he got hit more than we're used to seeing him. And that's something that opponents will definitely look at. Personally, I think it probably is more to do with the southpaw style and angles that the punches are coming from. The fact that Monroe was willing to engage on the inside. And also the fact that Golovkin was a little bit fatigued, I think, from trying to get Monroe out of there. After the fight, Golovkin said that he basically allowed Monroe back into the fight to give the fans a show. I'm not so sure about that, to be honest with you. I don't really buy that. I think Golovkin's trying to put a spin on it. That's just my personal opinion. But whatever the case may be, Golovkin continued applying the pressure and eventually started getting through again. And Monroe was hurt in a lot of the rounds, actually. Even the rounds where he didn't go down, he was hurt. But when the 6th round came, he started landing his shots, uppercuts and punches here and there. And actually, before I get to the end of the fight, even Abel Sanchez in the corner was slightly concerned with the amount of punches Golovkin was getting hit with. Because he asked Golovkin a few times, "Are you okay?" And you don't ask a guy, "Are you okay?" unless even, his trainer, the guy who's with him every day in the gym, who knows him like the back of his hand, was sensing that Golovkin wasn't quite comfortable in there. So he asked him, "Are you okay?" But whatever the case may be, Golovkin started applying the pressure in the 6th round, landing the shots. Willie Monroe was hurt again and down he went. And this time when he went down, I believe, was it once or twice he went down in the 6th? I think it was once. When he got up, he was on his knee. He waited to the count of 10 and then he deliberately tried to get up on the count of 10 so that he would get counted out. He basically quit. And I'm not going to, make a judgment on him or anything like that or call him or this, that, or the other. At the end of the day, he did fight with heart while he was in there. But at the end, his legs were completely shot, completely gone, and he could have got himself seriously hurt. So should we call this guy a quitter and hate on this guy because when he got up, he basically got up on a count of 10, but the referee still said to him, look, you got up on a count of 10 that was very close. Do you want to continue? And Monroe basically said no. So I don't want to say nothing bad about him because he did show terrific heart, more heart than most of Golovkin's opponents have showed up until the point where he basically quit. So it was what it was. Golovkin marches on. Monroe, I thought, put up a gallant effort, but there's still going to be people getting on his back about, quitting. But I'd like to see what they would do in that same situation, whether they would even fight as gallantly as Monroe did. To come back from the knockdowns that he came back from, particularly in the second round, I mean, wow. It shows a lot of heart to even do that. So it was what it was. Interesting performance by Golovkin anyway. It was a pretty good fight while it lasted. He obviously talked about Miguel Cotto in a unification fight after the fight. Talked about Canelo Alvarez. Max Kellerman also asked him about Andre Ward. And he said he's interested in fighting Canelo and Cotto right now, like as soon as possible. And then after he fights those guys, he'll look to fight Andre Ward. So we'll see how it goes. I personally think that he beats both Miguel Cotto and Canelo. I think Canelo's got a better chance than Cotto. I think Cotto just gets walked down and taken out by Golovkin and I don't think it'll even be that much of a difficult fight for Golovkin, to be honest with you. I think he'll beat Cotto pretty damn easily. I don't see that fight going the distance at all. And as far as Canelo, I think Canelo being bigger and stronger than Cotto, more explosive, may have a better chance, but I still see Canelo getting taken out maybe late in the fight, maybe around 9-10 rounds, maybe earlier. Between 8 and 10, I see Canelo getting taken out by Golovkin. And as far as Ward, I don't know. I mean, I would probably go with Ward right now, but we got to see what Ward's got left. We got to see what he's like in his comeback fight. I mean, we're not even going to be able to gauge much by seeing him fight Paul Smith. So we'll see how it goes, man. Drop your comments below and let me know how you felt about this performance by Golovkin. Do you think that he showed vulnerability here? Are you more confident now that someone else could beat him? Someone in the middleweight division? Canelo Alvarez? Erislandy Lara? Demetrius Andrade? There are other guys out there. There are southpaws. There are slick guys. There are bangers. Who do you think would be the most difficult opponent for Gennady Golovkin? Andre Ward? Who else apart from Andre Ward? Drop your comments below. Be interested to hear from you guys. It's your boy Hatman. I'm out.